When we talk about helping people at Young Living, it isn't just talk. There are countless stories from real people around the world that have experienced what a little bit of effort, time, and caring can do. We're going to start sharing those stories regularly with all of you to uplift your day and inspire us all to do more good in this world. Hello and welcome to Young Living's podcast, The Wild Drop. My name is Jacob Young, your host. Young Living is the world leader in producing and distributing premium essential oils, and this podcast will provide you with drops of information about Young Living, including stories, history, product information, lots of little fun facts, and even more. Well, Nikki, welcome to the studio for the first time for you. Welcome back to Young Living. And we are hoping to start doing a lot more of these Foundation podcast episodes because the Foundation deserves the voice, it deserves the platform, and all the amazing stories that we have to share. And so with that being said, it's been long enough since we last shared the origin story of the Foundation. And the Foundation didn't really need an origin because it was always there, right? And so it'd be great if you kind of shared who you are, what you do, how you got here, and the story of the Foundation.
Absolutely. I'd love to. Thanks for having me, Jake. Appreciate it. My name is Nikki Davis. I have a very long title, so get ready. I am the head of Global Impact and Philanthropy, and as such, I operate as the executive director of the D. Gary Young Living Foundation. Got to take a breath out of that one.
Yeah, try and fit that on a business card.
I know, right? So, yes, like you said, I was with Young Living, 10 years ago for several years. Got to work hand in hand with your dad. My goodness. God, I had to run to keep up with that guy. He lived so many lifetimes and just, left such an indelible impression on me as a person. Real role model, real blessing to have gotten to work directly with him. And I'm thrilled to be back. Feels like I'm back home. So yeah, the genesis of the Foundation is just, it's amazing. It's it's the heart of Young Living. It's the heart of Young Living in action, and it's the heart of your family, the Young family, the founders. That's what sets the culture for the entire company, for our brand partners, everything. And the Young Living Foundation started back in 2008. When your family was building out the Young Living farm in Ecuador. And at that time, Gary would pass by this old, rundown, dilapidated building that every day on the dusty road, and as he would drive by in a truck, kick up dust, and the dust would go into the windows because there were no actual windows. It was just open spaces with bars over them. One big classroom for everyone, all ages. The teacher would show up a couple of times a week, if that. And just not a good scenario. And passing it enough times, your dad says to your mom, we got to do something about this school, because it was the school where the employees of the Young Living Farm would go. And he said, this doesn't cut it. This is not up to par for an education for the kids of our farm workers. And we have the ability to do something about it, so let's do something about it. And, of course, your mom is all on board, and they work hand in hand in everything they do. And so they approached the landowner of the land just across the road from this old school, and he didn't want to sell. He was resistant. Your dad said, I'll give you more than market price for it. I'll throw in some extras. And no. He still would not sell. And your dad was like, come on. And, your dad feels this call, this mission to do something. And when you feel that, you don't stop when there's an obstacle. You you're doing something. You're doing the right thing for the right reason. And you're taking care of people. And there's always going to be a way, but it doesn't mean it's just going to land in your lap. So your dad, talks to people in the community, asks around in the village, what does this guy want? Turns out he wanted a motorcycle, right? So what'd your dad do?
He went and bought him a motorcycle.
Bought him a motorcycle.
I remember that day. I was so confused. I was like, why are we buying a motorcycle? You don't really ride motorcycles, Dad. He's like, oh, it's not for me. This guy wanted a motorcycle for land, so it's
right.
what we're going to do.
Exactly. So he approaches him and says, what if I throw in a motorbike? And the guy says, done. I mean, just awesome. The will to do whatever it takes to get it done to help people is how, I mean, it's the reason the company started. It's the reason the foundation started. It's in the fabric of our being. It's our ethos. It's our culture. It's who we are. And it's an enormous thing that differentiates us from other people who, the other fads that come and go. We stay on the course because the fabric of what we do is authentic. It's genuine. We do the right thing for the right reason.
Yeah, a lot of businesses have their reasoning, like, for tech companies, it's technology, right?
Right.
For clothing companies, it's clothing. But
Right.
my dad always said we're in the business of helping people. And so this was never something that was outside of what we were already doing and had been doing for a very, very, very long time.
Exactly. We say, at the Young Living Foundation, we say we care for people, we care for the planet. It's so simple, but so deep and so expansive. And, we want young living in every home on the planet, and that includes the dusty shanty towns, the mud huts, the homes. I remember your dad said to me in the very beginning when he was telling me where to go and find projects and partnerships, he said, go where no one else will go. Find the people no one else will find, because everything else is low-hanging fruit and someone else will help them. But the people who really need our help are the people hardest to get to and hardest to find. That always stuck with me. And, when he was down with the Tarahumara village in Chihuahua, Mexico, that's what he did, right? He's there. He's teaching classes. He hears of this village that needs help and assistance, and he goes and he finds them. They need a water. So what does he do? He builds a watering hole and an aqueduct for them, and he builds a school. And from that school, we sent the first 2 female graduates in the community ever. Last year, we sent them to college with our Global Leader Fund. Isn't that so cool?
I know. Arturo was telling me they went back and were able to find the town and the trail and some of the photos that my dad took. Yeah. And the well is still there.
Yes, it is. It's so awesome. And that's the character and it just oozes from who he is, your family is, who you are, like the legacy and just who we are as a company, what was built from just the authenticity of really genuinely caring for people. And your dad didn't build this irrigation system in this school in a very arid, barren land for his own personal benefit or for something that was self-gratifying or to make the company look cool. He did it because it was the right thing to do. He knew he could help. He used to always say, I have the skills and the means to help. Why would I not help? And that's like plenty of people don't say, because I have the skills and the means to do it, I'm going to do it. They'll use those skills and means to develop more and more and more and more and more means, which are never ending, right?
Yeah.
Like when you have never ending needs, you have to satiate those needs constantly. But when you're looking outward to others, then you feel full all the time.
Yeah. It's very similar to, I remember the Nepal trip so vividly. Mm-hmm. And we had done a few foundation projects before then, as part of the school and stuff. But I think the Nepal trip for me, I was old enough to finally understand and realize the impact that the foundation had. And I think that's where I realized what hope truly meant. Mm-hmm. To give hope to people that have lost it, never think they'd ever have that feeling again.
Totally.
It's so hard to explain unless you experience it for yourself. Right. But I remember my dad went to Nepal, and I can't originally remember what for. I know he was looking for some type of botanical or looking for a partnership there. Mm-hmm. And somebody approached him and said, we still haven't received help. And it was pretty I think it was only like 3 or 4 months after the major earthquake in 2015.
Yeah.
And so my dad said, well, where are you? In a town that you've never heard,
Right.
Yarsa.
Right.
In the mountains, 13-hour drive. The roads are awful.
Oh,
They're
gosh.
terrible. And so my dad said, okay, I'll come help. And that's exactly what he did.
Right.
He came back a month later, and that's when I went with him.
Yeah.
And we went into, I guess, the local Home Depot. I don't know what else to call it.
It wasn't very local. It was very far. You had to transport those materials
Oh, my
so
gosh.
far down that bumpy road.
That road is awful.
Horrible.
Terrible. It is so bad that you can walk faster than you can drive the road.
Correct.
That's how bad that road is.
Correct.
But we bought out this entire store. We rented a ton of semis and flatbeds to get all the equipment up there. And the road was so bad at certain points, the truck drivers would quit.
Right.
They're like, I'm not doing this. I'm not driving this.
Right.
And my dad, same thing. For him, it was like, we have to do this.
Right.
And no is not an answer.
Right.
So he's like, I'll drive and I'll pay if it goes down the side of the mountain or
Right.
anything like that.
Right.
And I mean, some of these turns, like you
Oh,
have the
gosh.
back 4 wheels of the trailer hanging off the side of the mountain. It's 1,000-foot drop, and we still got it up there. Skidsters, excavators,
Right.
cement machines, brick machines, everything. And yeah, it was just, he didn't have to.
No.
He
a
wanted
man
to.
on a mission.
Yeah, he wanted to.
Yep.
I will tell you, the helicopter flight was like the best thing ever.
That was a much easier way to get there.
10 minutes of flying compared to 13 hours of driving.
Right, exactly. But that's how bad it is the quickest way to get there is by helicopter because you surpass all of these, like you're saying, hairpin turns, very, very bumpy roads. I mean, it's not just bumpy. It's like I'm cracking my back right now thinking about it. But yeah, just to like that mantra, go to where no one else will go. Go to the place that's hardest to reach because very few people are going to make the effort to do that.
And it's, kind of like what you're saying, not to make us sound better than anyone else, because that's never what my dad's intention was, right? It was just to do it because it's the right thing.
Yep.
But the people of Yarsa and so many other people that we've been able to help and assist have always, or were told prior to us helping them that, this organization, very big, well-known organizations, in the foundation and charity world and health and wellness world, right? They were told that, we'll come back and help. We'll come and help, and that help never came.
I know.
Tons of false promises, and I think that's what ended up being a lot more crushing and devastating to hear than anything else. It was just like when we went to North Carolina. These huge organizations with billions of dollars just going 20 minutes outside of town in Chattanooga. And these people, it had been 5 months after, and they still did not have running water or electricity. And in that same day, we cleaned up all the mess, the basement, that poor lady's basement, and all of her belongings and her husband who had just passed away. Just 20 minutes outside of town. It had been 4 months since somebody told her that she would come and help.
Right. Just thick mud to dredge out. And
all the black mold that we ended up having to clean out and reseal and everything.
Right. And that's like, it's not like, hey, fill out this application, fill out this form, we'll send someone in.
Depending on your desires and your needs.
Exactly. It's just like you knock on the door, you see a need, you find a way to fill it. And that's exactly the ethos of the foundation. And from buying that bike for the landowner, property owner to, your mom will take me around at the Young Living Academy and she'll say, there was rock hard dirt over here. And then there was nasty swampland over here, just mosquito infested. And she says, but Gary said, oh, Mary, can't you see it? It's going to be so beautiful one day. We're going to have kids playing everywhere. And she's just like, wait, where? She says that. I'm not ad-libbing here. But, just such a visionary. And we just had the graduation in February of this year of the 10th graduating class. And I'm looking around while we're there and thinking, my goodness, the vision of your dad there, back in 2009, 2008, building it out, 2009, where it's actually established, and seeing what could be. And here we have this metropolis that's just an absolute oasis, not just for the community, it's one of 6 schools in all of Ecuador that has a library. I mean, that's awesome. And the programs we have for these kids are just incredible. We have programs. What your dad wanted to do is he wanted to provide an education for those who otherwise wouldn't be able to get it, and in so doing, build the future leaders of Ecuador. And so we create kids with purpose, with character. We don't just teach rote memorization or an education. We want to build, because that's not a problem solver. You don't have analytical skills. You don't have problem-solving skills if you just memorize something and then regurgitate it on a test and move on. And so we teach them to see a problem and to find a way to fix it. You know very well that there's a lot of construction in Chang'an. It's getting built up quite a bit. Where, for those of you listening who may not know, the Young Living Academy is located in Chang'an, Ecuador, which is just down the street from our Ecuador farm. But the area is getting built up quite a bit, so there's a lot of deforestation. They're cutting down a lot of trees to build. So what happens with deforestation? We've got birds, we've got squirrels, we've got migratory animals that no longer have a home. So they're showing up at the Young Living Academy because we've got lush trees all over the place. And in every single grade at Young Living Academy, we have projects, community projects, and how can we help the community identify a problem in the community, and how can we help it? And the kindergartners saw an influx of squirrels and birds, and they thought, let's build little squirrel homes and little watering feeders for the birds. So these cute little kindergartners are learning how to identify a problem and then a solution. And then they did it themselves using, bits of materials that they could find easily in their homes or in the community. And they built these little water feeders for the birds and squirrels, and little homes up in trees, so where they can live. And it's just awesome to see that this is much more than simply teaching ABCs. I mean, obviously we do that and teach the basic education, but we're taking it to the next level in applying what you're learning to solving a problem. We have small recycling centers that we not only have at Young Living Academy, but that we take to the public schools in the area to teach them to recycle and the benefits of recycling and taking care of our earth. We have 4th graders who created a survey to determine your own carbon footprint, and then encourage other people to notice the impact we have on the earth and how to better take care of the earth. We have traveling libraries where we have small little libraries that we'll take to the public schools, because we're only one of 6 schools with a library, and helping younger kids learn how to read and have different types of books that are available to them. Just, these kids will graduate and leave with a sense of not only stewardship and responsibility, but this honor and this pride in taking care of people and the planet. And, we have just a couple examples from our recent graduating class. Our valedictorian, Justin, he wants to go on and be a doctor and help innovate the medical system to be able to help many more people, but also take more of a holistic approach. And he said, it's funny, he gave a presentation to us at the graduation to all of the volunteers and sponsors who came on our trip. And he said, I really want to be a marine biologist and a doctor. So I think I'll be a doctor, but I'll be a marine biologist as my hobby. Yes, these kids are dreaming big, I mean, you look in the community and you think of kids who had they couldn't afford to go to any private education. The public education is horrible and fraught with all kinds of corruption and problems. And here they are with these goals and aspirations that they're accomplishing. We had a young girl who wants to be a human rights lawyer, so to remedy the injustices that she sees in the community and in the country as a whole. We have I'm an awesome kid. You probably know Alex.
Yeah.
He lives like right along the road between Young Living Academy and the farm. And he was born with a birth defect and needed assistance going to the bathroom. And until he was 13 years old, he had to wear diapers. You know, he was really nervous when he started school that he would get made fun of and bullied. And he told us through tears that not only was he not bullied, but he had a friend group, a small friend group that brought him in and just like brought out his confidence and the acceptance. And his mother, bless her heart, she would come each day and change his diapers twice a day, so that he wouldn't be embarrassed, you know, or you know, have uncomfortable situations with that. And during the day when she wasn't there, she would walk up and down the street selling popsicles to pay for food, to provide for their family. Just the heart of these families. And he wept and wept, saying he was going to go and be an engineer. And he just loved electronics and putting things together and mechanics and robotics. And he wanted to be an engineer and come back and take care of his parents. And, you know, he's very close to his younger sister, and he would carry her book bag. He would pick her up from class and carry her book bag home and then carry it back and walk her to class. And just, you know, you see the sincerity and the love and the care of these kids, and you see that it all trickles down from where it started, and just the authenticity and the principles and ethos that, first and foremost, we care for people, we care for the planet. That's what we do.
Yeah. And we always talk about the foundation being bread and butter, because that's the foundation of the foundation. That's where it truly kind of started, and everything became a ripple effect from there.
Right.
But so many people don't realize of the thousands of other projects that we've not only accomplished and done, but continue to evolve with, right? There's many projects that get started and still have so much more room for expansion and growing, like the school down in Ecuador, constantly evolving, constantly growing.
Yes.
That's something that's never finished or never done, right?
Right.
Even in Nepal, like technically we did finally finish that project last year where we finished rebuilding all the homes and all the schools from the earthquake, but we still want to go back to expand upon that as well.
Right.
And thousands of other projects as well. And more keep popping up on the website.
I know.
Thanks to you guys creating your own little foundations as well, your own little charity goals, right?
Very true. And in the community as well. On the weekends, we host community classes so that anyone in the community can get their high school education, quote-unquote, diploma. You know, we had a 98-year-old woman who just graduated.
Really?
Yes!
Wow.
She just graduated from high school through our community outreach programs. And the cool thing is she wants to go on to be a nurse.
She's got time.
She's got plenty of time.
Yeah.
Just awesome. Yeah, and I mean, this last year, we introduced a chicken coop where for chickens and eggs, because we can use those. We use those at Young Living Academy for breakfast and lunch for the kids, but also, and almost more importantly, we use it as a business tool so that the kids learn how to create a micro business plan of how much does it cost? What are the supplies that go into a micro business? And you know, we have more chickens and eggs than they would in their own families, obviously. It's not micro, but we teach them how to create an entire business plan, how to see, okay, what does it cost to raise 2 chickens, 3 chickens? What kind of yield do you get? How many eggs do you get from that? Where can you sell them? A marketing plan for where to sell them. How much do you sell them for? What is the feed cost? How often do they need to be cared for? What is the care that goes into it? And they participate in that entire process so that they understand the business principles of starting a micro business, and they go home and they teach their parents that. Because we always want them to also have the ability, we want to teach entrepreneurial principles so that they can go out from Young Living Academy, they want to start their own business, they have the tools and the skills to be able to do that, and the confidence, and not just think, oh, well, I don't know how to do that, but to feel empowered to set up their own businesses, or their family set up micro businesses.
Well, we have shared so much about kind of the start and the rise of the foundation, and there are so many more stories that we need to share, and I don't think we'll ever be able to share them all because new ones are constantly being made and written. Mm-hmm. But the goal here for the podcast is to have these episodes for the foundation be reoccurring, hopefully monthly for now, and hopefully we can get even more out. But until then, where can people go to read about these stories? Where can they become involved if they choose to do so? And I think it would be also great if you kind of shared that just because we have our own foundation doesn't mean that you can't start your own little foundation as well. That's one of the things is we try to kind of back up and partner with all the other projects and charity works that we see going on, and people make their own little fundraisers as well.
Yes. Okay, so yes, the Young Living Academy was the genesis of the Young Living Foundation, but that is certainly not where it stopped. We have 3 pillars within the foundation. One is education. That's a major, major one. Then we have ending exploitation, which what that means is we remove barriers to children who cannot receive an education. Because we see that within the developing world, the number one differentiator of whether a child will succeed or not, or end in extreme poverty or not, is education. So we want to remove any barriers, whether those be abuse, or if the child has been trafficked, or whether they've been reduced to live in a slum area and are given, basically, their freedom has been taken from them. We remove those barriers. Then our third pillar is women in enterprise, enterprising women. So that is when a woman makes $1, she spends it on the child, and first and foremost puts them in education. So we want to help, and we see oftentimes when kids drop out of school, it's because of poverty. And because either in a lot of the developing world, you have to pay for public school. It's not free. So if the parent can't pay for the school fees, the kid can't go to school, and the kid needs to stay at home and start working at a very young age to help the family, feed the family. So if we invest in the mother, in small micro enterprises for the mother, then we see that the child is able to exceed in education. So you can find, we'll tell stories of each one of these pillars in subsequent episodes, but you can find a vast amount of information and stories on the Young Living Foundation website, www.younglivingfoundation.org, and any donation helps. And we have our flagship program is our Sponsor a Child program. That's $75 a month. You create a very, very close relationship with these kids where you're writing them letters, they're writing you letters. And I remember even myself as a young child, my family, we didn't have a lot of money, but we sponsored a child in India. And I remember writing letters back and forth to Sunitha. And I remember learning about what school was like for her. And I thought, oh my gosh, how cool. Like the world is so big, but yet so small. And it really blessed my life and my family's life. And we came to see that the world is much bigger than our own backyard. So it's not only a blessing to the child, but to the family. And that you can choose a child to sponsor on the Young Living Foundation website. You can learn about their hobbies, their likes and dislikes, their ages. You can choose a child that's the same age as one of yours. And that's an awesome program that we have. When we have as simple as $1 up. If we have 1 million orders go out every month, if every single one of those orders, if our brand partners and our customers chose to $1 up, which is no skin off anyone's back, $1, right? How much good could we do with $12 million a year? My goodness, that would be amazing. So you can get involved, you can help, you can be part of this awesome movement for as little or as much as you'd like, but every single bit counts. And you can go to the link in the description of this episode, click there, and head right in to be part of this awesome work.
Yeah. And like you said, Nikki, you can choose how much you want to be involved and how much you want to make a difference.
Right.
Little or small, in person or virtually,
Yep.
it is all entirely up to you. And we're just extremely grateful and thankful that you want to be part of this journey with us.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, you can start your own fundraisers. You can start your own nonprofit organizations. We have plenty of people who have done that because they felt led from their involvement with the Young Living Foundation. And our objective is to get people serving. It's not, hey, you got to come serve with us, got to come serve with us. No, we know that we are made to do good. We are made to serve. We are made to take care of people. And whatever that looks like for you and your situation, your family, and your community, hey, do what you're led to do.
Exactly. Well, Nikki, thank you so much for coming on and sharing everything that you have to share. And there's going to be a lot more that you're going to need to be sharing with us, so many more stories to tell. But just the passion, the heart, the dedication, and everything with the foundation, it's a massive part of who we are.
It is.
And I'm always so proud and so honored to talk about it and share about it and have personally experienced a lot of it too.
Yep.
And I hope all of you get to kind of experience the same as well. And to see why we do what we do.
Awesome.
So,
Such a blessing to be here. Thanks, Jake.
Thank you. And thank you for tuning into this episode of The Wild Drop. Remember, you can listen on iTunes, Spotify, on YouTube, and our website at www.youngliving.com. Don't forget to oil up Young Living family. This is Jacob Young, dropping out. Take care.